How you doing, feminists and chauvinists of YouTube? So today's topic is going to be about feminism and the bullshit surrounding it. And there's a reason why I started the video off the way I did. So modern day feminism has changed. I believe there was a time when people viewed feminism as women's rights, women's equality. But something changed, and it became no different than men being chauvinistic, right? And said, you guys are feminist. It became better than men, right? All these things. And I'm not gonna argue about the inequalities women face or the inequalities men face, because we both face inequality. People face inequalities, period, regardless of what, and I'm just gonna do a real quick history lesson just to make you guys realize a couple of things. So men and women realize a couple of things. So if we go back in time, during the time of like the horse and buggy, right, the only thing protecting women were other men. Literally other men. Okay, the only thing keeping you as a woman from being tied to a horse like you were a horse saddle and being ridden off with some strange man so he can do with you as he pleased and then discard you as he pleased. Because the world was, and in some parts of the world still is, a pretty brutal and ruthless place. So, like there's the saying, right? Like God made man in his image. The Constitution gave man equal rights. But Colt was the great equalizer of men. Right? So unless you were a woman with a Colt or a rifle or any type of firearm to protect you, yourself, your children, or your husband, right? Unless you were armed, it was pretty highly unlikely that you were going to survive on your own. And by survive, I don't mean just live. I mean survive productively, right? It would have been pretty hard for you to do that. Like just the types of jobs out there, the brutal lifestyle, the rough nature of what men had to do in order to become fruitful adults. It was pretty hard, right? So the time finally came when men decided that, you know what, I think the world has evolved enough where I don't think women are gonna get raped just going out into the world, just going to go get a job, just to have the right to pursue happiness, right? So men decided to give women rights. We gave you guys the rights to choose, right? Because prior to that, it was very similar to like how you own your dog. It's the same way you owned your wife. She was yours. And technically, he was hers. That was just the way it was. And you had to take care of this man or this woman based on the customs, right? And there was nothing wrong with that because it served its purpose during its time. But as the world became more evolved, as technology flourished, starting with the telegraph and then the telephone and all kinds of stuff, right? The car changed a lot of things. So when we men gave women the rights you have, because you guys didn't have those rights. You guys didn't have the right to even vote for those rights. We men voted for those rights, for you to be able to be a part of society, to pursue your happiness, to go get a job, do whatever it is you want to do. And then it was us men. Yeah, G, what's up, baby? And then it was us men that made sure there was equality across the board. So legally, men and women don't really have rights that are any different. In some cases, women have better rights, and in few cases, men do. And what do I mean by that? Is it like when you go to divorce court, 90% of the chance women get possession of the children rather than the men, right? Like there's little things like that, but for the most part, everything is equal in terms of legality. Okay. And women, or not women, but feminists always want to throw out this inequality of pay, that women get paid like don't go. Damn, I might have just saved that car. So sorry, kind of I was stopping them from getting hit, and so men and women, where the fuck was I in my conversation? So, yeah, women didn't even have the right to vote for those rights, right? And we gave it, and then we created the equality. And women and these feminists always want to bring up this topic of like women get paid like 70 cents to $1 for every man, right? Like for every dollar a man makes. Like that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Do you know how fast General Motors, Apple, fucking any and every single company would dive on top of that and hire nothing but women if that were the case? But that's obviously not the case. That can't be the case. Because could you imagine saving 70% overhead on workers' pay? Do you know what a big chunk of money that is for corporations? You don't think they would hire just women? Of course that's not the fucking case. There isn't a woman out there that goes to an interview and says, you know what, we're going to pay you 70 cents to $1. Are you fine with that? Yeah, I'm fine with that. The laws haven't caught up. I have no choice. Right? That's bullshit. And it's ridiculous bullshit. And we men gave you guys enough rights to the point where you have the right to be wrong. Okay? And I might sound like a prick saying all this stuff, but I'm not. And the reason why I'm not is because every single right you have as a woman, every single right you have, a man died for. Literally gave their lives for. There were numerous, like the amount of wars and shit just to change laws and rules and the way things are. People had to die for your rights. That's a fact. And yes, those same men died for men to have those rights. But for women to completely throw all that shit out the window as if you guys just picked yourselves up from the bootstraps and just went and voted and brought equality forward. No, man, it was men. Men did all that there. We did all that. We did all that for you, right? So that you can be equal, so you can be great, so you can be happy. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it on that, because I think that's a strong enough point that for every right you have, a man died for, so that you can have that right. So at least let's talk equality, and let's not talk about feminism from now on in regards to that. Like, I hope that like opens up some women's minds to the reality of the rights they have and the equality we live in. Like, I'm going to Home Depot right now, okay? All the men here and all the women here, they get paid the same for doing the same job. You understand what I'm saying? There isn't a single woman in here. Do you know how fast, I'm not even going to say women lawyers. Do you know how fast male lawyers would jump on top of a company paying you 70 cents to a dollar compared to a man, do you know how fast lawyers would jump on that? They're like, that's like the perfect case, dude. That's like the perfect case. But we don't hear about those cases because it's not real. None of that shit is real. You know, it's like just some shit that sounds good, you know? It sounds like you know something. It sounds like you read something. But the reality isn't that. And like I said, we gave you guys, you women, all the rights you have, and including the right to be wrong, which is an immense right compared to the rights people had only 150 years ago. Even the rights men had 150 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys enjoy your equality. And yeah. Say bye, Geronimo. Say bye, Gigi.